young buck holding it like we knew it all. Not afraid to do it all. Matter of fact, to look back and do it all. I can remember the haters say the game will ruin y'all. What's that to me? Don't give about a hater. Let them like the in my paper.
They call me Big Dog, riding with the hillbilly. Cubone staying with the lip. Really became a boss many years back. When I'm gone, can be pull your tears back. We put the bang and produce. You got no chance of hanging. They take the tails when you're flipping the quarter. We ain't slowing down, we crashing through the border.
So let the rhythm hit 'em, just let the rhythm hit 'em. Cause when you feel it in your soul, lift the sound system. Let's turn it up, a little louder, turn it up, a little louder, turn it up. We never turn it down, universal sound. When we move the pound, take a look around. When we touch the town, knock the way, stomping in my big black J's. Corny, get stuck in the maze. We never suffer fools, had enough of you. False friends and loose ends make me wanna fool. That we got another world tour, touching every shore, from Cali to Singapore.
Every day I'm seeing more in the temple as we rock up tempo instrumentals. I saw my dream in a dream, then I woke up. Put the dream team together. Now we one time.
So let the rhythm hit 'em, just let the rhythm hit 'em. Cause when you feel it in your soul, lift the sound system. Let's turn it up, a little louder, turn it up, a little louder, turn it up.
What I never do. How you supposed to walk with me? I'm 80 steps ahead of you. My mind is on Socrates, all my balls on Rubik's Cube. Every time I do it, I just have to do it beautiful. I can't let this moment pass. Yeah, I know my time is now. Know my mama proud of me, and my grandma smiling down. Every time I turn it up, whole crowd be wildin' out. Matter of fact, let me see your hands. Look, I saw my shot and I took it. I couldn't do it different. Couldn't afford to stop and go. I had to stay consistent. Made up my mind that no matter what, I gotta win. That's why it's always me and never them. One shot for everybody living in the moment. One shot is all you get, so you gotta own it. One shot. You only get one shot. One shot for everybody living in the moment. One shot is all you get, so you gotta own it. One shot. You only get one shot.
Heart of a lion, my time, here I go. I am not moving in silence. If it ain't moving. We making movies, moving. I get the chance and take it. We bout to build it. They leaving it vacant. I just go harder. I am a ball that I gotta get it. I am so with it. I will go get it. That is the difference. I am not waiting. I am not faking. Everything out here, that's for the taking. My mind too right. My grind too tight. This here rhyme too nice. This my world, my life. One shot, who me? Take that, ooh we. One shot, movie. That's all you need. One shot, who me? Take that, ooh we. One shot, movie. That's all you need.
One shot for everybody living in the moment. One shot is all you get, so you gotta own it. One shot. You only get one shot. One shot for everybody living in the moment. One shot is all you get, so you gotta own it. One shot. You only get one shot. One shot. You only get one shot. You only get one shot. One shot for everybody.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Tonight we kick off Week 3 with a great Thursday night.
God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted. East Coast, the 6'4's hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
Cut it with the business. West Coast rocking them Timberlands, deep up in them trenches. It's no difference. Neither one play games when swinging for them fences. We want the finer things that's expensive. They hit them either close range or at a distance. If God for me, why bother? I got my game from the Godfather. Top of the food chain, rock bottom. And handle my business when it was my problem. G. Flossing with a gold chain. I got my Turkish rope with matching gold things. Bomber jacket in the winter, it's a cold game. I met some East Coast up in Spokane. Some of the realest in this dope game. I got my curly top looking like special ed. Clean fade on the side, bumping that red head. Clean tags when I ride, ducking the feds. East Coast, they get that bread. You you end up dead. Then West Coast, they leave that spray. And now you got calling your dread head.
If God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted.
Still trying to the riches.
East Coast, the 6'4's hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
Cut it with the business. West Coast rocking them Timberlands, deep up in the trenches. It's no difference. 4th and inches. I'm finna hit a lick and handle business. I got her down, she real vicious. Rock-a-bye, baby, no witness. This is not even a conflict. You on nonsense. Got the same way in Brooklyn and Compton. But with that gang, then make a profit. On top, stay poppin'. Look. See, I was the high school slick Rick.
We are just a stone's throw away from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as we get set for football at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Tonight, we kick off Week 3 with a great Thursday night matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. Wishing he had a mulligan. That's not how you want to start the game.
Not at all, because not only do you give up the penalty and good field position, but it just kills the momentum of your team as you start a game.
Harris running straight ahead. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards on the gain. A great start for this offense. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. 1st and 10, here's Pickett. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook. Pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys? Coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night, guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive continues.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. So no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Well, this defense for the Browns very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there, and they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
Boswell's kick is good, and the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. Well, they had the solid field position there to start the opening drive and didn't have to really move it too far to be in range and take the 3-0 lead.
And a lot of times I think that even I look at this a little bit negatively because of where they started with the field position. Hey, they still got 3 points out of this drive. Got a little momentum going. Got things set up for the rest of the ball game. Take the 3, be happy, and move on.
Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Watson off play action. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Well, that's not the way you want to start. A first pass attempt and a first drop all in one.
Well, you've got plenty of time to make up for it, but obviously not the way you want to get things started. Got to shake that off and get going.
Throwing again is Watson. He'll get this complete to Rondale Moore. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. That's his first catch of the game and an impressive one against multiple defenders.
And how about that start? Really aggressive. Yeah, there was double coverage out there, but that didn't stop them at all. They went right at it and defeated it on that play.
The Browns at 2-0 here to begin the season, and they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Watson got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. Watson to Njoku there for the Cleveland first. Well, the first drive here and the first time that we've called the big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the field. Now your wide receivers are getting involved as this game goes on.
Call it a gain of 14 for the 2nd play in a row. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender and then the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, it's sometimes a thing of beauty.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Watson. Touchdown! Rondale Moore, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Browns have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead. They said that they wanted to get him involved early, and what a way to cap their opening drive, Charles. We know he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL, and he showcased it on that play.
And when you have a guy like that, you want to make sure the defense sees him early, right? You want to see how they're going to adjust, how they're going to try and guard him, because they can't replicate his speed in practice unless they've got one of the few guys who are as fast as he is. And all it took was one drive. He burned them, and I don't think it's the last time they call his number in this one.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they are losers of 2 straight coming into this Thursday night game. Is it more difficult, CD, when you take a losing streak into a quick... He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line.
The tough thing is when he goes back and reviews the film, he'll see that he already escaped the pocket. He could have gotten more himself by using his legs, and that might have been the better choice there instead of challenging the zone. A miscalculation on his part, and he pays for it with the interception.
For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10 at the 40. After the interception, here's Watson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Moore. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. T.J. Watt, always a disruptor, there to blow that play up.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now on 2nd and 13, Watson. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Watson. And that will be incomplete.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. Run those extra defenders on the field. Dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit into football.
And Bohorquez on to punt as he gets it away. Olszewski now to return. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th. On is Presley Harvin now as he'll send this one away. And taken right at the 35. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. first down, it's Watson. He's going to look deep for more. And this is caught inside the 5. A big play that time for Cleveland. 44 yards.
Hard to believe that arm strength was a knock on Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson, but he showed what he's got there.
And that's how you start a drive, because you know they had this play in their back pocket, waiting for the right time to unleash it. And boy, did they pick the right opportunity. Unleashed it big time, and that was also a big-time throw.
Watson going to try and run it.
And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
No question, he's so dangerous down here near the goal line. The safeties, they have to be involved in run support against a quarterback like this. And in turn, they're going to ask their teammates to be involved as well.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
And darn right, they did something to disrupt that timing.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. A great effort there. His first touchdown of the new season as his guys are able to extend their lead.
Extra point by York is up and good.
And that pushes the lead up to 11. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
A short kick taken at the 18. They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Winless to start the year at 0-2, and now they get the Thursday night game here in Week 3. So, I don't know, does the fact that they're back out so quickly, Charles, help or hurt their cause?
Oh, I say unequivocally help, because you always want a Thursday game earlier in the schedule rather than later, just because the grind of the season hasn't really set in yet. But also, if they can get a win here, they get a mini open week, recharge a little bit, and carry some fresh momentum into the rest of the season.
On 2nd and 11 now.
Pickett. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Throwing on 3rd down. Here's Pickett.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Sione Takitaki with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half.
On 4th down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt.
And this will be covered up. Pretty good result. It'll be down at the 14-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started.
The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Micah Fitzpatrick.
And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They hand this off to Harris. And a good stiff arm there before he's brought down on a nice little gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On third down, here's Harris. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Pickett to throw on first down. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Pickett. And his throw here's incomplete.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. On the delay, here's Harris. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Boswell's kick is good. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And with an 8-point lead, probably not too much of an impetus to try and do too much. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown.
Now, Charles, you can just see the frustration on the sideline. Safe to say that's not how they expected this series to go. The ball only went one way, and it was backward into their own end zone, courtesy of the pick 6.
And, Brandon, how often do we hear offenses tell us before a game they want to end every series with a kick, right? A punt, a PAT, or a field goal. In case of a defense, they want to end with a punt or a takeaway. And we saw the takeaway right there, and it turned out to be a takeaway that turned into 6 points.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Browns drive about to get started. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To throw is Watson.
And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones.
So we've hit halftime all even at 14 apiece. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Glenn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Cleveland offense ready to go. This offense ready for the first drive of the third quarter. Well, quarters number 1 and 2 entertaining. We saw some good offense points put up, Charles, and all tied on the scoreboard.
And it sets us up for what could be a really fun second half because we've seen both sides score almost at will here in the first half. And now, here in the second half, getting the ball first, you've got to think, hey, we can go out and really run our offense the way we did in the first half. But if I'm a defensive player, all I'm thinking is, can I make a play to really help out my team and break this streak of offense?
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
On first down, Watson. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Off of play action, it's Watson. And his throw is incomplete.
Partner, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
Throwing on third down, Watson. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. They run the play fake. Here's Pickett. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
Even for a guy who many believe has become the standard in the league, Myles Garrett's 2021 was special. 16 sacks set a team record and were third in the NFL, and he made first-team All-Pro to the surprise of no one.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are in great shape here as they take over at the 46-yard line. Third and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him, and what I mean by that is what you said. Third and long, got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete, and they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Throwing again on second down. Watson. That's complete to Peoples-Jones. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
The Browns really liked what they saw from Donovan Peoples-Jones in 2021 as he came into his own as a deep threat, averaging nearly 18 yards a catch and getting nearly 600 yards total. They think they've got a long-term starter on the outside, and he picks up a first down here.
Watson on first down. To the right side, and he's got more complete. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Amari Cooper, halfway to 100 now with career touchdown number 50. As his guys have now moved out in front. York now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best of the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. Here's another carry for Harris. Nifty move. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
To the air on first down with Pickett. Open man, that's the tight end fire move. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And a nice gain of 21 yards. On first and 10, it's Pickett. This one finds Austin out right. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 19 yards that time for number 19.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a first and goal.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. A run with Harris out of the shotgun, and he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal. One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on second and goal? This is Harris on the draw. Pushing and fighting his way in for a Steeler touchdown. Najee Harris, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And an important one that is, as we are all tied now early in this 4th quarter. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away. This fielded right at the goal line. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Browns drive about to get started. They no longer have the lead after that last touchdown, all tied up in the fourth quarter. And a chance for this offense to mount a potential game-winning drive right here. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. Faking the give. Now Watson. Swings this out for Hunt. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. Here's Watson. Throwing for Chubb, complete on the out route. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. We're backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Now Watson. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
And partner, in a tie game in the fourth quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
If you're in the offensive huddle, you're smiling after that play because you've certainly got them guessing now. 2nd and short, could they just hand it off for another big gain? Or did they take advantage of this spot to take a big shot downfield?
From just shy of midfield, Watson. That's to the right side and complete to Njoku. He's got room at the 30, and they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 23. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
And able to work his way down to the 16. 44 yards on the ground for him so far. Now, what's the thinking here? Because a touchdown would be nice, but you've ensured yourself a chance at 3 in the lead, so how worried are you about the 6?
You're not very worried about if you're confident in your kicker. And if you got a kicker who can put it through the post, you feel really good about trying to bleed that clock down. In an ideal scenario, your kicker puts it through the post as the clock hits zeros.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. And that winds up a decent run, and it also takes us to the 2-minute warning. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Here's Chubb on the read option, and he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing, and I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Now they bring a receiver in motion right. To throw, Watson. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Browns answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here the 4th. Important extra point up and through, and they will take a 7-point lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
So remember, Charles, last time they were out here, they scored, but they just saw the opposition score, and they're trailing right now, so they're trying to keep pace here. They need a touchdown drive.
Well, if you're a fan of offense, you're loving this, but if you're a fan of defense, this is tough to watch, and it's also tough to keep that up when you just watch your opponent march down the field on a scoring drive that lasts into double-digit snaps. You need a score here, not just to follow the momentum from your last drive, but put the onus back on your opponent. And that's what they're doing right now, swapping that onus back and forth.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark, really, start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Here's Pickett. That's to Freiermuth. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On the give, this is Harris. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Pickett to throw. He's got Pickens complete, and they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Now Pickett. And the comeback may stall out. It's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. We're part of this defense now with multiple interceptions in this game, but this time they say turnabout is fair play because, remember, they had a pick 6 on the other side, and now they get a pick 6 of their own.
Yeah, they actually added to some of their nice play throughout this ball game. A good effort by them to secure another interception on this one. A better effort to take it all the way back for 6. And how about an exceptional effort to match their opposition's pick 6 from earlier in this game?
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock, shake hands, congratulations, and move on. Because now, you're not going to make up for what's happened during the game in this last sequence.
We'll see what they do here in this last sequence. Well, that's where this Cleveland crowd, the dog pound in particular, make it difficult on opposing offenses. It looked like they might have had troubles communicating at the line, and it leads to the incompletion. On second down, this is Harris. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. That good for 19 and a 1st down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Looking to throw here, Pickett. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
One final shot for Pickett. He's got a man. Complete. This was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And man, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So for Cleveland, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get the weekend off now as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll be back home next week for a date with the New York Jets.